Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 1 p.m. Central Time Zone. As we get to ride home with you in the afternoon, it's always a vision. That's Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. You can also find us on all the social media sites. We got YouTube. We've got Facebook.com/DFiesel. And X, and if it's social media, we're doing it. But thank you again so much for watching. I've got AP Steadham. He's our sports guy. You can't have him. He's mine. And he as well. If you watch this show, he's your guy too. Because he really gets to the nitty-gritty of what you do, AP. I know you travel all over the globe finding information for us, but you're closer to home today.
Yeah, I'm in Birmingham today, Donna. We're actually trying to tie up the loose ends of our Week 0 Labor Day Classic. That'll be in Birmingham, Alabama, August 30th. For those people interested, it's Valdosta State versus Clark, Atlanta. And our second game is West Alabama versus Fort Valley State. People in Alabama would know Scott Cochran. He was the strength and conditioning coach for Nick Saban for many years. And this is his first head coaching position, his very first game. So we're very fortunate. So you can go on our website and look Week 0 Labor Day Classic, buy the tickets. We'll have music there and entertainment and people outside and having a lot of fun. And we're looking forward to August 30th, the opening Week 0 for the Division II. Of course, a lot of football games going on as well. But it's at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, the historic site of so many big ball games, football capital of the South. That was the moniker for many years. But we're excited about Week 0 Labor Day Classic. So I'm in Birmingham trying to tie up those loose ends.
That's awesome and let me tell you, folks who are traveling from out of state into Birmingham, lots of fun things to do in Birmingham as well. And I did want to mention there was also all kinds of great donuts, Krispy Kreme just right around the corner.
For sure. But anyway, we are getting close, Donna. We are a couple weekends away of college football starting at all levels. And Donna, in college football, it's played at about over 700 schools and universities and colleges around the country. Believe it or not, it's over 700 schools. At the FBS, the top level, it's about 133 or 134, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And any level's important too, because you're also looking at future candidates for the big teams.
Yes. Yeah, there's always scouts looking for players. There have been players taken from Division III in the last 20 years, let's say. Not a lot, but you can find people everywhere, Donna. The talent and the competition, sometimes they grow into their position and they get bigger and stronger and faster, and they weren't ready to be in an FBS level, let's say at 17 years old, but they lift weights and work on their speed and their strength, and next thing you know, they could be a potential free agent for an NFL team or a draftee of an NFL team.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to happen. Even at the high school level, it can happen. Right. Okay, now college football is what we all live for. So it's beginning to be a little more even play, I think, now as we go, because we've had so many changes within the organization.
Yeah. Yes. College football, Donna, we're going to look at the SEC primarily, ACC, because I know folks in South Carolina, like Clemson, of course, we're going to discuss them, matter of fact. But Donna, you can now alter your roster year to year. So you can fine tune it. And those who can evaluate talent the best, they'll acquire players from other schools. Maybe your rival, you're getting a player. 1 minute you're rooting against that player or against that team. Next thing you know, that player is on your team. So the coaches and their staffs are working overtime to always document these other players around the country, because they know come January, people are on the move, so they have to be ready with their evaluations to tap people and say, okay, we have that person as a number 3 tight end. Yeah, we want him. Let's try to see if we can get that player to come to our school. We'll get an NIL for that player and see if we can move them with our money offer and also our availability of time. You can have playing time. So those are a couple of things that go into the decisions of these players. Primarily, it's the money, Don. They're looking at the money. How much can you offer them, or a comparable money? So, but that happens. But Donna, we've had quite a few polls come out.
Yeah, in a way, it's a good thing, and in a way, okay. Let's talk about those.
Yeah, we have the polls, and Donna, I'm just going to give my poll. I'm now a voter for the Football Writers Association of America / National Football Foundation Super 16 poll. And that comes out every week. So we had to present our preseason poll. So my top 5 in my poll that I submitted to the Football Writers National Football Foundation, I had Penn State number 1. Penn State number 1. I'll tell you a little bit about each team. Texas number 2, Clemson number 3, Georgia number 4, and Notre Dame number 5. So Penn State has the returning quarterback, very strong candidate, probably a first-round draftee. 2 running backs that ran for 1,000 yards. They brought in 3 wide receivers to fix that deficiency on the perimeter. You have to be a threat. So they improved at that position. They always play good defense, and their coach, he knows how to win 10 games. Now, he has trouble against Ohio State, Michigan, but Donna, every coach can make a breakthrough with beating a team that has given them trouble through the years. And I think this is the year for Penn State to be the best team in the Big Ten. So that's why I selected Penn State. Then we have Texas with Arch Manning. Everybody knows about Arch Manning. He's been sitting around for a few years as a backup. This is his team. He's the starting quarterback, and it's make or break for him and the Texas Longhorns. He's definitely got a supporting cast, the receivers and running backs. And we'll see how the defense performs. They lost some people, but Texas, we believe, is the best team in the SEC projected right now. And then we have Clemson with Cade Klubnik returns at quarterback. He made dramatic improvements for Clemson last year at the quarterback position. They are loaded down at every unit, wide receivers, good running backs, offensive line, defense, got some good defensive tackle, good people on that side of the ball, secondary, linebackers. And Dabo Swinney, we know he's a great coach, right? Hall of Fame coach. Then we have Georgia, Kirby Smart. He knows how to win. Donna, do you realize last year that Georgia, they couldn't run the ball effectively? They were usually anywhere from 90 to 100th ranked out of 130 plus teams. They were way down, and they still won the conference. They still won with their defense and overall ability and talent and coaching. They still won the SEC, made the playoffs. They got beat in the playoffs, but they still won the SEC, beat Texas in the title game, and were in the playoffs. So Georgia number 4, Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, good coach over there. They have the new quarterback for them. They usually play good defense, have a solid offensive team. So I had Notre Dame at number 5. But those are my top 5. And if you want to comment about that, and I'll tell you about some other rankings compared to mine.
No, I know you got an inside information, and I say, through the history of you being on the show with my debut, there's not many times you've been wrong. I mean, I can't even think of any time you have been wrong. So because that inside information, so you know what's happening out there.
Yeah. So Donald, let me give you our actual poll from the Football Writers, different from mine. They had Texas number 1, where I had Penn State. They had Ohio State number 2. They had Penn State number 3, Georgia number 4. I had Georgia number 4, and they had Clemson number 5. So a little bit different in the actual rankings. There's about 50 people who vote in that poll. So mine was slightly different, but I'm satisfied with Penn State at number 1 starting out this season.
I think I am too, but now where are you putting? Alabama's got a tough team too, so where would you put them in the category?
Right. Yeah, so I'll give you my rankings for the rest of the SEC in my poll, because our poll only goes up to 16. So I had Alabama at number 9, LSU number 11, South Carolina number 12, and Ole Miss number 15. And that's as far as I had, because we only the poll that I vote only reaches 16 to the Super 16 poll. In the final poll with the football writers, this first poll, they had Alabama number 8. They had LSU number 9, South Carolina 13, Ole Miss number 15, and they had Tennessee at 16. So I had a little bit of a variation on that side. I didn't have Tennessee in my top 16. They did.
Okay, why would they have it and you don't? What can you see they can't see?
Well, I had some other teams that I think I had SMU from the Atlantic Coast Conference, number 16. I think Tennessee, they lost quite a bit, and they had such an excellent running game last year, Donna. They really relied on that part of the offense to carry them. They had and good defense. And this year, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to run the football and have a new quarterback, Joey Aguilar, who transferred. He was at Appalachian State. He was at UCLA for about 5 minutes, and then he came over to Tennessee. So I think it's a wait-and-see attitude I have with their quarterback. But he's got good ability. He throws a few interceptions at times, so he's got to cut down in that area. But I'm just going to wait and see with Tennessee to see if they're going to reach that top 16 in our poll, my poll. But like I said, the football writers had Tennessee at number 16. And then, Don, we had 2 other polls come out, too. The football coaches poll and also the Associated Press poll. We can mention that. And the coaches poll was really almost a duplicate of the football writers in the top 5. They had Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, and number 5 they had Notre Dame, and then they had Alabama at 8, LSU 9, South Carolina 13, Ole Miss 15, Tennessee 16. So they kind of duplicated the football writers. The Associated Press, Donna. So out of these 4 polls we're going to discuss, 3 had Texas at number 1. They believe Texas is the number 1 team, but the Associated Press had Penn State number 2. Ohio State 3, Clemson 4, Georgia 5, Alabama 8, LSU 9, South Carolina 13, Florida 15, Oklahoma 18, Texas A&M 19, Ole Miss 21, Tennessee 24. So you see there's a difference of opinion even at the top, Donna. These 4 polls, yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you, and several of our viewers have asked about Vanderbilt. Last year they were kind of that Cinderella team. They just came from out of nowhere, emerged. How do you see them playing this year?
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt will be in that role as Cinderella for a while, Donna, because last year they had the huge turnaround, as we know. 0 wins the year before in the conference to winning many games in the conference and winning the bowl game as well. So I think Vanderbilt will be in that role as Cinderella for a number of years until they prove otherwise. But you have to love their quarterback, Diego Pavia. Mm-hmm. He's fearless in how he plays on the field and what he says off the field as well. He has confidence in his team. And we're going to see now how the players that they acquired through the portal, how that has bolstered their roster. But they still have the same schedule. The SEC down there playing the same schedule for these last 2 years. So they're going to have their chance. They host Alabama. They come to Alabama this year. That's going to be a huge game for them on the schedule. First Saturday in October. And then they play Auburn again. And Donna, they've beaten Hugh Freeze. Diego Pavia has beaten Hugh Freeze when he was at Liberty. When Hugh Freeze was the coach of Liberty, he was at New Mexico State. Then he beat Auburn when at Auburn. He was with New Mexico State. Then he beat him last year when he's with Vanderbilt. Now he has a 4th. He could beat Hugh Freeze 4 times. The quarterback, which
Hugh Freeze is going to be ready for that.
Yeah, he's going to be happy that game is passed. Stop seeing Diego Pavia. Because Diego Pavia has his number 3 times so far.
He's a thorn in his side.
Yeah, he is, which is kind of unique, really.
Absolutely. Too. Let's go into a commercial break, and we're going to do this. We'll talk about more thorns in the store.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of the Cobb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
We're back and we're ready for football. I can't wait. Now, you got me into basketball. Yeah, I'll admit that.
Right.
You that. But there's just something about football, college football, getting ready for the season. You got some more tidbits for us.
Yeah, Donna, there was an announcement at the University of Alabama. They named the starting quarterback, Ty Simpson. He's from Tennessee. He was named the starting quarterback. And I guess in Caleb DeBoer's career, to name the starting quarterback so early, this was the first time that happened. He named it, I think it's 18. I think it's 19 days before the season starts. So that was something new for Caleb DeBoer, the head coach. He beat out Austin Mack, the transfer from Washington. He's been at Alabama a few years, and he beat out the freshman Keelan Russell. So all those quarterbacks are talented. I would say that if Ty Simpson stumbles early, like I said in the past, I don't think Caleb DeBoer is going to hesitate to substitute a different quarterback this year, whereas last year he had 100% allegiance to Jalen Milroe. But I think this year is different. Ty Simpson's named the quarterback. He's been there a number of years at Alabama. He grasps the offense. He can call the plays with confidence. He throws a catchable ball, and we're going to find out about him. And Donna, Alabama has a great group of receivers led by Ryan Williams. So if he can just get the ball with accuracy and anticipation in a timely manner to those receivers, Ty Simpson will be fine for Alabama as their quarterback. Now, if he's missing throws, not audibling into the correct play, and missing his wide receivers or tight ends or running backs in the passing area, then you're going to see a change. But I think he's been there long enough. He's developed his skills. He learned the offense. I think Alabama should be fine. But if he has a bad game or is injured, Alabama has capable replacements.
Let me ask you, okay, let's just talk all the coaches within Alabama. Okay, in your opinion, what do they need to be working on most to be successful and maybe get it up to number one?
Yeah, you got to get that quarterback position right. You've got to select the right person. You've got to call the plays and the passes that they can complete, and that's the head coach and the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. They have to gather as a group and figure those things out before the season, Donnie, because you just can't call every play you have with your team, because each quarterback, they can make certain throws, and you have to find out the ones that they master and make sure you're calling those pass plays. But just get that quarterback position right, and then you start with the offensive line. Make sure they're protecting the quarterback. And Donna, when you have a good offensive line and you can run the ball on demand, in other words, if I want to run the football on 3rd down and 3, I feel confident I can make a first down. If you have that capability, then that puts your quarterback and your team in a better position to win. And then also, Donna, you're keeping the other team off the field. So your offense is complementary to your defense. Your defense is not on the field. They're resting. And the other team, their defense is out there, play after play after play with these long drives, getting tired. And it builds up to that 4th quarter where then you take command because you wore them out the first 3 quarters, having them on the field so much. So get that offensive line as a unit, 5 people where they are in harmony and they're protecting the quarterback. And if you have to use the tight end, running backs to stay in and protect the quarterback, that's what needs to be done. Because if the quarterback is hurrying, missing throws on 3rd down, you're off the field, the other team's offense is out there, your defense is going to get tired. So get that quarterback right, offensive line, and everything else. It'll improve your chances with the rest of your team to win the ball game.
Justin has a good question for you, and this pertains to the Alabama football team. He wants to know if you think that the former coach, Nick Saban, has any talk whatsoever or any suggestions whatsoever that he's giving to the coaches at Alabama at this point? Or is he staying out of it?
Well, I think he stays around the program, but only if they seek his advice. That's what I would say.
That's the way it should
Yes.
be, yeah. Advice on several things.
Right. Yeah. So he'll contribute if he's asked.
Mm-hmm. That's what a leader does. They wait until they're asked, and so that's what he's doing.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay. Questions about the Alabama-Auburn game? How do you think it's going to fare up this year?
Oh yeah. It's long range projection, right? The game is at Auburn. Hey, if Auburn's quarterback Jackson Arnold can have a turnaround and revive his career, Auburn has an excellent group of receivers, just like Alabama. So if the quarterback and receivers are clicking and they're playing the game at Auburn, it's all determined by the health of the team as well. I mean, it's a long season, so you have to stay healthy. But the Auburn's going to be a tougher out this year because I think they're going to get better quarterback play with Jackson Arnold, the transfer from Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. But by the way, one of the big games, Donna, is Auburn has to travel back to Oklahoma. So Jackson Arnold, he's going to play against his old team. So that's going to be that's the big storyline for that game in particular. And then Oklahoma, they had the transfer quarterback from Washington State, Mateer, and then the running back Jaden Knopp from California. Those are, to me, those are two of the best offensive players to transfer as a pair to a school. And Oklahoma is fortunate that they're playing for the Sooners at Norman. But Auburn and Alabama, I think this year probably be a competitive game. At this point, I see it as a competitive game, especially it's being played at Auburn. Yeah.
Well, you're getting a lot of South Carolina fans too, and they want to know your opinion about what's going to happen to Clemson and South.
Yeah, right now you'd have to favor you have to favor Clemson at this point, but I think that'll be a competitive game as well. By the way, Donna, the first game I'm going to cover this year is South Carolina. I'll be at the South Carolina Virginia Tech game in Atlanta, so you can watch my YouTube channel, AP As We See It. You'll see the interviews after the game and photos that day at the game being played in Atlanta in the Dome. So I'm looking forward to seeing Lenore Sellers and company, Dylan Stewart, the sensational freshman edge rusher, play against Virginia Tech. South Carolina is the favorite in that ball game. They should win that game. They're playing Virginia Tech out of the ACC. But that's an interesting game, Donna, because Frank Beamer, the dad of Shane Beamer, the head coach of South Carolina, he was the outstanding Hall of Fame coach at Virginia Tech. So, and Shane Beamer, I think he even graduated from Virginia Tech and played at Virginia Tech for his dad. Mm-hmm. So that's like the Beamer Bowl, right? The Beamer Bowl, South Carolina versus Virginia Tech. So, no, South Carolina, they're going to have to be good in those tight ball games. And what I mean by good is you're calling the right plays. You're producing in the last moments on third down, or you're making the field goal to win a game or put your team ahead. So South Carolina, they have the ability to be in every game. It's just that they have to show consistency from week to week. And Lenore Sellers, he's an excellent quarterback, one of the better quarterbacks in the conference, could be in the country as well. So how well does he perform and lead his team? That's going to be key for South Carolina. And, you got to play some defense to be in these ball games. You have to be effective on that side of the ball, Donna, because you just can't rely on one side. It becomes too much of a heavy load. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, 1 minute left in this segment. So, AP, as we see it, what's happening on the show?
Yeah, Donna, we had a couple of good guests last week of people from South Carolina. We had Trevor Groves from CU Tigers discussing the Clemson Tigers, and we had Chris Blair, the voice of LSU. So that's a battle, the very, very first game, one of the big games to start the season. LSU Tigers in Death Valley and Baton Rouge travel to the Death Valley at Clemson and the Clemson Tigers. So it's a battle of Tigers and Death Valleys. And so that's a huge ball game. But they can listen to those interviews last week that we did at AP As We See It on our YouTube channel, on Spotify. But be looking forward to the season starting and can't wait.
Absolutely. AP, thank you again so much for being on the show. And thank you guys so much for watching. We depend on AP. And he gets that storyline to us as well. Continue sending emails. I definitely appreciate that. And thank you so much for South Carolina sending it. You're beginning to outweigh the folks in Texas and in Alabama. So keep doing that. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Again, thank you so much. AP, hang around. I got to get you set up for next week.
Thank you.